Two. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Get Pets Fit. I'm your host for today. I'm Sarah. I'm the founder of Frank and Jellies, and if you haven't seen me before, I'm all about helping dog owners make the best choices for a happier and healthier dog. So this month we're talking all about Get Pets Fit, and it's a campaign that's basically like a New Year's resolution for dogs. We make New Year's resolutions for ourselves as human beings to be happier, healthier, more exercise, so why not our dogs? So this week we're going to be focusing all on physical activities, and I wanted to add the element of like things that you can do with your dog, which is why I have invited Lara from Dog Fit UK to come and join me to talk about some of the things that you could be doing with your dog to both get fit at the same time. So thank you so much for joining us, Lara.
My pleasure. Lovely to meet you, and hello community.
So Lara, to start with, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who have you got doggy-wise at home?
Right, well, I've got a 4-year-old German Shorthair Pointer rescue from Spain. She's called Tilly. And only 3 weeks ago, we added a new addition to the family, and he's called Reggie. He's 7 months old, and he was a rescue as well, but in a much nicer environment. So he came from a lovely background. They just couldn't look after him anymore. So yeah, I've got 2 on board. Yeah. Running training, obviously Reggie can't Canicross at the moment because he's too young. But Tilly is 2 years down the line. She's racing. We're doing events. We're also taking other people out there. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
So for a lay person like me, so when I started off obviously having these kind of chats with you, I had seen Canicross online and always found those people quite aspirational, but thought it wasn't for me. I'm not a runner. I get quite bored in the outdoors unless I'm walking my dog with a good cup of coffee in my hand. But tell people who are watching this for the first time. So we've got Canicross and we've got Dogs Fit. So let's start with Canicross. What is Canicross?
Well, Canicross originally started from the sled dog world. So that's where it originated, where dogs were pulling the sled through the snow and what have you. From that, there's several different elements of the dog sport that's been tangent off. So Canicross is one of them, bike drawing is another, and ski drawing, which they still do as well. So Canicross is purely just the runner behind, the dog out in front, and you're connected through a harness and bungee system, basically. The element of teamwork is so key here in all of these sports. And that's what makes it so much fun for everybody. You can go purely competitive. It's a hugely competitive environment if you go that way. We're not there. We're having fun. We're getting out, getting fit together, and encouraging others to do the same. So Canicross is purely about teamwork with your dog running together.
Okay, so that's the bit I like because I'm not particularly fit. I have to push myself to do it. So, you know, I've got 2 bulldogs who I love more than anything, and Frank's super fit and very, very, I don't want to say the word hyper, but he always feels like he doesn't get enough of a walk, and I always think, how can I do more for him? So Canicross, is it suitable for all breeds?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as the dog's at least over 12 months old. What we're finding is that it gives, like you're saying, an extra element to a dog walk. We trek with our dogs as well, so we don't have to be running if you don't want to. But the element of teamwork and command listening is part and parcel of what we do. So not only are they getting a physical workout, they're getting the brain side as well. But also it's very much about working with their human. You and the dog work together, which actually makes it a very, very good workout for the dog, brain-wise as well as physical. So yes, when we're running, I run coast paths around here, and I have to be really careful about where Tilly will take me. She's a strong dog. She's 24 kilograms. So I don't need her taking me down a cliff edge. So we need to communicate what I want from her. So instructional, left, right, slow down, steady on, let's go when I see a squirrel. You know, there's so many options for brain activity for these dogs, and they are properly tired when they finish, because not only have they worked their bodies, they've worked their brains.
Okay, so what about the distance? Is there a set distance that you have to do? Like someone said to me, it was like, is it 26 miles?
That's a marathon. That's a marathon. You don't have to do that at all.
Okay.
Through competition with Canicross, a lot of the competitive element is just, it's 5K because the dogs are racing hard and so are the humans. So when we went over to Belgium, for example, DogFit went over to Belgium to support our team over there, and they were running 5K, but we were talking about seriously fast 5K. Now, that's not what I do in Bude, and that's not what the other DogFit trainers do around the country. We take people from 0 to 5K in our Canicross Couch to 5K element. But from there, we've done, well, personally, I've done a marathon and an ultra with Tilly, which is a marathon is 26.2 miles, and the ultra I did was 32 miles. Now, that's obviously not at any pace, so that's nice and steady with lots of breaks. But we go from basically 0 to 5K, and the rest is up to what our sessions want, how our sessions want to run, what our people want from us. So really, you can do multi-day events. There's so many multi-day events out there for Canicrossers now. There really is no set standard from the fun element of it.
So how does it work, Lara, in terms of, okay, so obviously I can do it at my own distance and I can do it for fun, but yeah. So what are the first skills that we teach our dogs in Canicross? So I'm hearing, obviously, it's really good for command and so focus and cognitive. I love the fact that it's not forcing our dogs to do too much mileage, because obviously we consider the joints and, you know, the stresses of the joints.
Absolutely.
But what are some of the earliest skills that a dog learns when they get involved with Canicross?
Basically, the first thing you do is get them into harness and get them on a line out. So basically, you've got your bungee line out front and you've got them in the harness, and all you're wanting to do is walk with them, start walking with them. What you're trying to do is get them to walk out front so that they're sort of pulling you if you like. They don't necessarily have to be pulling hard. A lot of the time we suggest taking another dog with you or another person with you who's going to be doing the same thing, so that they work as a pack. Dogs tend to like to follow another dog or another human. So if you've got your son, for example, on the bike out front, your dog is more likely to want to pull and be out front. So from that, when you've got the line out, you can start introducing the directional commands. So the left, right, let's go, on. So for example, you see distractions. I was on the canal this morning with my group, and there were moorhens everywhere, which the dogs absolutely love. So we could see them well in advance, and we start to use the commands to get the dogs to move forward continuously rather than trying to zigzag. That's the one thing I think initially that you can do with your dogs, is get them to learn the commands. What you don't want is a zigzaggy dog all over the place. You want a nice, straightforward pull at the front. And those are the sort of things you can do when you're walking your dog in harness. That's what I'm going to be doing with Reggie when he starts. He's too young to run in harness, but I can start walking him and teaching him the commands as, in a couple of months' time. I'll be doing that with Reggie.
Okay. So how will it work in terms of, if I was sitting at home, what could I be doing with Frank and Lulu to teach them some of those basics?
Well, basically, you can start using the games that you do at home with your middle, left, right. I do a middle game with my two, so it gives them some sort of idea of, it gives them confidence as well in that, you and them can work together. Start getting them to listen to you a lot more through those confidence games. But also get them into harness and actually start working with them in the harness. A lot of dogs sometimes don't like the harness initially, but the more often you introduce it to them in a positive way, the more they're going to enjoy it. Make it as enjoyable as you can. Get out with other friends. Make it really positive and social.
Okay. And what about the type of equipment that you guys use?
There's basically 3 pieces of equipment, and they can come in at under a price of a pair of trainers, so you don't have to go silly with the premium brands or anything like that. You will need a waist belt for yourself, one that sits on your rump area. So what you don't want is something sitting on your waist. You may well lose your kidneys if you do that, especially with a strong pulling dog like Tilly. You need to be secure and safe. So a waist belt, always an essential. The next part is the bungee line, and that's got to have some shock absorbing in it. That's why it's a bungee. So what you don't want is the jarring effect on either you or the dog. And the final bit is the Canicross harness for the dog itself. So making sure that you have a Canicross specific harness so that the shoulders are free, nothing sitting too high on the chest plate. You don't want to do any damage to any of the joints because some of these dogs are going to be pulling hard. So free movement in the shoulder and nothing sitting too high on the chest plate, no rasping. So that's why we do a lot of fitting around Canicross harnesses ourselves, because we tend to like to see them on the dogs. So yeah, those are the 3 specific things that we recommend. And then you're good to go. You hook on and you're good to go.
And what kind of brands do you like best in terms of, so I really like the Y-shaped harnesses, and it shows actually hearing you guys and the movement and things like that. That's something that you guys love as well. Is it specifically a Canicross range, or do, like, for example, there are people like Roughwear and Kurgo that do, is it specifically built for Canicross, or do they're like more mainstream brands?
They are very specific Canicross harnesses. You can, I do see a few people in, the other branded harnesses. The only problem with that is that they sit too near their shoulders. You tend to find that, especially with the larger dogs, what you don't want is it rubbing in underneath the shoulders. That's going to make it painful, and actually they're not going to enjoy it so much. There are specific Canicross harnesses for a reason, and that's because they need to sit right behind the shoulders towards the back of the ribs and to have full shoulder movement. So we do tend to suggest that a Canicross specific harness for your dog is an absolute must. And then obviously the bungee line can be purchased anywhere. But we do our own range as well. The Dog Fit range is the starter range that we do, but you can go on to some premium brands that are the non-stop dog wear, which a lot of the professionals use. So there's a whole range. You could go from starter kit right through to what the professionals are wearing, and it's purely what you feel comfortable with. I wouldn't say one size fits all, because it doesn't. You just have to try things on, and that's what our Dog Fit trainers do around the country. We get people to try different pieces of kit on, get the dogs to fit different harnesses to check that they've got the right fit for their human and the dog. So yeah, it's about the 2 of them feeling comfortable.
So I'm really glad that you came on to that point. So where does Dog Fit UK actually fit in terms of Canicross? If people are watching this and saying, okay, I get Canicross, but is Dog Fit Canicross? Is it a company that does Canicross? What does it mean?
Dog Fit was started by Gail and Janetta, and it filled a bit of a gap in the market, really. Canicross was always seen as a bit of an elite sport with... very often people were a little bit too afraid to start canicrossing because it was seen as fast, big dogs, Eurohounds, GSPs. And what Dog Fit have done is just opened it up and championed the beginner. That's where the Canicross Couch to 5K comes in, for example. They have their own program where we take people from couch to 5K in 6 to 8 weeks. With Dog Fit trainers, or you can do it online. Yes,
I love the idea. Couch to 5K. Sorry, anybody who knows me knows I don't run. I don't do physical exercise. So something small and bite-sized like that for me just really wets my whistle.
But we're seeing it all the time. People want to get out, want to get more active, but they don't want to be intimidated, and that's where Dog Fit come in. All of our trainers are trained to be able to deal with beginners right through to advanced sessions. But most of my clients, for example, here in Bude in Cornwall, are beginners. They want to start getting fitter with their dog. They're not looking to run marathons, but they do want to get out in a social environment with other like-minded people and enjoy what we've got on our doorstep. So yeah, Dog Fit really does champion the beginner, and then hopefully wherever that takes them. Some of them have started with us and are now taking part in World Championships.
Oh wow, that's a big accolade.
Georgie Lambert, you'll hear a lot about her if you follow Canicross. She's gone from a Dog Fit introductory session right through to being in part of the World Championship. She's an amazing woman to follow.
So Georgie Lambert.
Georgie Lambert, she's called. Yeah, and she's Benson and Bees Adventures. I'll let you have her handle actually, because she's a great ambassador for what you can do with Canicross from start right through to some of the competitive stuff. She's a great ambassador.
Do you know how long it took her to get to that stage? If people are watching this are quite competitive, they think, oh, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a world championship.
Yeah, I think it took her maybe 18 months to 2 years, but she was a good runner anyway. She's a particularly good road runner. Then she rescued Benson, her dog, and she then took him to a taster session with DogFit, Gail and Janetta, when they first started the business. And the two of them just flew. He was very much a natural. She was obviously very good at running. And they could see an opening in the sport. There wasn't really, I don't think many rescue dogs had been doing it. There was a lot of purebred, Eurohounds, GSPs, and Benson was this new kid on the block. And him and Georgie just whirlwinded in, and it was great. So I've watched them race, and it's remarkable. The relationship they have is stunning. Absolutely
definitely have to go and have a look and see if I can find her on Instagram. So that was a really important point. I'm glad you've kind of kept me on track with this one. So if anybody's watching this, so we've got a lot of charities. I don't know if you know, we support with percentage of our profit. So we do understand some of the challenges that come with rescue dogs in terms of reactivity, fear, aggression. How does that benefit? How does Canicross and DogFit actually benefit those dogs? To kind of give them focus. You and I talked about it. There's something there, isn't there?
There's definitely a focus. For example, I found with my dog, Tilly, she was a very nervous dog. She'd been badly treated when she was in Spain. She'd only ever lived in a pound. So I had to treat her very differently to how I would introduce another dog. Canicross gave us the chance to, first of all, bond, because she really couldn't bond with very many people. She never looked me in the eye. She struggled a lot. So the bonding part of Canicross was our first triumph, basically. She obviously had to listen to me when we were in harness together. Also, it gives her a job to do. It gives their brains a job to do. Some of these dogs really, really need to work. They need to have the working element of their brain switched on. I think that's where we sometimes forget that dogs, we take them out for runs and throw balls for them, but sometimes they want to have a bit of brain activity too. And this is where Canicross has really worked for me and a lot of people with rescue dogs. Reactivity, a lot of dogs I see come to me with slight reactivity through nervousness or slight aggression for one reason or another. When you put them in a pack with other dogs and they're doing a job, it's remarkable how focused they become. They clearly love what they're doing because they love the run, they love the element of that, but they're getting socialised in a very safe environment. So it works remarkably well. I've had so many success stories, and DogFit have as well.
So what about, sorry Lara, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What about dogs, people that might be watching saying, okay, that's great, but my dog hates every other dog that they see? What would you say to people like that who would like to try it, but based on your experiences?
Yeah. Basically take them on a taster session with a qualified Canicross trainer, maybe on a one-to-one initially. So the DogFit trainer will have a dog with them. Obviously very, very safe because they're both under control. Both the dogs are under control. And it just means that you can introduce this nice and steady, introduce running alongside another dog or even walking alongside another dog, knowing that you're in safe hands, making sure that you try and get as many distractions away as possible and start the working brain by getting them to do a job, basically. Certainly don't put them straight into a group environment, so not lots of dogs and not lots of noise. Get them out of the car nice and early, get them used to the environment that they're in before you set off. And generally you can introduce most reactive or nervous dogs to this sport with a great element of success.
Amazing. Okay, that's been absolutely fantastic. I feel like I've learned so much over the last 20 minutes already. I think I just got one last question for you, Lara, if that's okay. So,
Yeah.
obviously, you guys are all over the country. Where can people find more information about where their most local Canicross and qualified instructor is?
Yeah. So if you go onto the DogFit website, we've got a menu bar that says classes. Basically, click on that, and we've got a whole map of where our Canicross trainers are located. We've got nearly 40 trainers in the UK, and we've got trainers abroad. You'll also probably like to have a look at our blog posts, because that will really inspire a lot of what I've been talking about, the stories I've been giving you. We've actually documented in our blogs. So if you have a reactive dog, take a look at our My Story. It's called a My Story section of the blog. That's real people doing their real taster sessions, doing their real couch to 5Ks, and it takes you through their journey. So if you have a rescue dog, a reactive dog, or just want to start and think, right, let's try and go for the World Championships, it's all documented on the website. And they really are very, very inspiring stories.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lara, for joining us. That has been an invaluable session. I've really, really enjoyed that.
Great.
It definitely will give me some food for thought with Frank, and it'll be interesting to see some of the other breeds that from our community that might give it a try, who probably thought that they were out, before. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching us. If you guys want to get involved in the campaign, it's all about happy and healthy dogs, regardless of where you think you are in your journey in terms of your dog's health and happiness. We're all about just sharing information, and you're going to get invaluable advice from experts such as Lara across the next 30 days. So there's also a £400 prize available for one lucky dog owner. So head to getpetsfit.com, sign up for the challenge, get involved in the community, and see more amazing people like Lara coming on to share their top tips that you wouldn't see otherwise. So thank you so much again, Lara. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks. Bye.